Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our next session on ABAP learning series. So, in our last session, we have discussed about the different program structures. Okay, how the programs can be structured and all. So, today we are going to see how the program execution flows. Okay, and today we are going to see the execution flow of our program. Okay, and how we can actually implement this one. So, you understand the requirement, right? So the SPFLI table, it has the details related to flight schedule. Okay, now if I open the table /n SE11, one is SPFLI and /o SE11 SPFLI. Okay, this is S flight. So if you see both of these tables, so this table has flight schedule and this has the flight information. Okay, like aircraft type, maximum seats, minimum seat, price, date, everything is there. And if you see the carrier ID and connection ID, these two fields, care ID and this con ID, is same in both the tables. Okay, that means both the tables are related with these key fields. Okay, so our requirement is to get the information from both of these tables and combine those information and give it to our output. Okay, so for that reason we have declared one structure which can hold a single record of data and one internal table, okay, of type SFlight. And here also ls underscore SPFLI is a structure and lt underscore SPFLI is an internal table of type SPFLI. Okay, why this type work here? Because we have created this SPFLI and S flight, both the tables in SE11. So those are kind of global dictionary objects. Okay, as these two are global dictionary objects, we can use it in any of the ABAP programs. Okay, so if you forgot what is a global dictionary object, then you can review my previous videos, so where we have explained in detail how to create a database table and how to create a domain type, and everything has been mentioned over those videos. Okay, so if you are getting it difficult to understand, just go there once and see. Okay, now so I need this carrier ID, connection ID, country from to, city to, airport to, all this information in SPFLI table. Okay, but informations like FL date, price, currency, these I will get from SFlight table. Okay, so I have to create a custom data type which can hold information from both the tables. Okay, so that is the reason I have created this types. This is a customs type to hold information from both SPFLI and SFlight table. Okay, and these are the fields. Some fields are from SPFLI table and some are from SFlight table. Now to hold multiple records of data, we have declared this lt underscore flight underscore detail det internal table of type ty underscore flight underscore dt. We have defined this ty underscore flight underscore det type here. Okay, and similarly we have declared a structure ls underscore flight underscore det of type ty underscore flight underscore det. Okay, this is a structure so it can hold one record, and this is an internal table which can hold multiple records. So now this is our data declaration section. Okay, now coming to the next section, that is data selection. We have two select statements, one to select data from SPSLI table and one to select data from SFLIGHT table. So if you see both of the select statements, they don't have any where condition. Okay, normally we use where conditions to filter out data, right? So here there is no where condition. That means those select statement will select all the records from both of these two tables. Okay, now, and if you see both the select statement, they don't have any fields specified, like which fields we need to select. So instead of that, we have the star over here. Okay, so in that case, in our case, in those two statements, it will always select all the fields as well as all the records. Okay, so normally we should not use this kind of statement in our project. Okay, so the current learning session, whatever we are doing, it is for beginners. Okay, so slowly we will cover every aspects. So to easily understand, these codes have been written here. Okay, but in live project, never ever write this kind of select statements. So this covers the data selection section. Okay, now coming to data processing. So here we are processing the data. That means we are combining both of this data in our output internal table, that is LT underscore flight underscore DET. Okay, we will understand this complete logic little further. So once I have my data in output internal table, that is LT underscore flight underscore detail, I am looping through this internal table, the output internal table, into the structure ls underscore flight underscore det. Okay, this is a structure. Okay, so this is a structure, but in SAP terminology we call it as work area. Okay, work area means it is a structure and it can only hold one record. Okay, so we are doing the loop and passing one record to this ls flight underscore det, and inside that we are using the write statement and we are writing the structure hyphen then field name. Okay, this way we need to pass, this way we are passing values for each fields of the line item. Okay, now if you see this, everything is done. Let's execute this one. Okay, sit, first check, then activate, then execute. Okay, so you can see in your output screen you have information for each columns, right? Now let's understand how the exam flows. Oh, sorry, how the execution flow happens for this program. Okay, now to understand this, first you need to understand how you can use the debugging to analyze the programs. Okay, so you see these two buttons here, set and delete breakpoint, and this is set delete external breakpoint. Okay, at this point just focus on this one, session breakpoint. Okay, so how to set a breakpoint? So first you need to go to the executable, any executable statements in your program. So this is an select statement, so this is an executable program, or this is a short statement, loop statement, those are called as executable statements. Okay, but if you come to this section, data declaration section, these statements are non-executable. Okay, these are just declarations, so you cannot put a breakpoint in any of those statements. Okay, so put the cursor here and then click on this button. Okay, you can see the message session breakpoint was set, and here is the breakpoint was set. Okay, so if you select again, the breakpoint was deleted. Okay, this is one way. Else you can see this. So if you see this report, it has three columns. Okay, one is the white leftmost column, then the numbering column, and then the area where you are writing the codes, right? So in the first column, so if you want to put a breakpoint here, you can double click here. So the breakpoint was set. Okay, again if you double click there, the breakpoint was deleted. Okay, so now put a breakpoint here and then click on execute. Okay, so this is the SAP debugger screen. Okay, so here in this side you see the codes, and these are the different desktops, means different views. So if you go to the desktop one, so in top half of the section you have the code, and below half is the variables. If you go to desktop 2, left side is the codes and right side is your different runtime and program informations. Okay, if you go to desktop 3, left side is your codes and right side is your, you can see the variables and the contents the variable has. Okay, now the most important thing here is these sections, right? These 4 buttons in the application toolbar. Okay, so this is a single stop execution. Okay, so these are 4 buttons which can be used to execute a single line of code or a group of line of code, or to come from a set of block of code, and if you execute this, this will do the complete execution of the program, okay, till the output, and this will come from a group of codes from the calling program. Okay, so this we will discuss later, and this completely execute a set of code, and this line by line. Okay, so currently we will focus the line by line. So now before executing the select statement, you need to check this contents of this internal table. Okay, so copy this one, paste it over here. So there is no 0 records, but it has 16 columns. Okay, this is one way, or else this LTS flight, you just double click here. Okay, here also you can see there are no records, but this internal table has 14 columns. Now press the single line execution button. Okay, so both of our select statements has been executed, and if you see here for SBFLI 46 records has been selected, and S flight there are 1321 records being selected. Okay, now I am just sorting both these internal tables. Okay, so here, so this is our data processing, right? So here you will see how we have combined the results from both of these tables. Okay, so first, for the first loop, so when you executed this loop statement for the first time, you see this site ABIX information equal to 1. That means first record has been looped. Okay, and the first record has been transferred to this structure ls underscore SPFLI. Okay, if you double click this structure, you can see the record, it has been transferred here, right? So now go back to the screen, and here if you see, okay, so read table. So in this statement we are reading a single record from this LT flight internal table, okay, for which the field carrier ID field CARR field from this internal table and con ID field of this internal table matches with the carrier ID con ID field of this structure. Okay, that means the first record. Okay, so here if you see ls underscore f spfli care ID, it has AA, and this spfli con ID, it has 0017. Okay, now execute this read statement. See, this size over C value, that is 0. That means the read statement is successful. Okay, that means if size over C equal to 0, that means the read statement is successful. If the read statement is successful, then pass the details to the structure of the output, that is ls underscore flight underscore detail. Okay, now as our read table is successful, let's check the record that is being read from this internal table. Okay, so now double click on the ls underscore flight structure and see the carrier ID and connection ID, those are matches with the previous record. Okay, see, see, so this is the matching record being read. Okay, now if you see, all the fields of the output belongs to two different tables. Okay, so if you see the care ID con ID has been passed from SPFLI table and FL date is passed from the SFlight table. Okay, that is why here we have assigning ls underscore SFlight hyphen FL date. Similarly, this country from, city from, airport from, country to, city to, airport to, all this belongs to the SPFLI table. Okay, so that is why these fields are passed from ls underscore SPFLI structure. Okay, that means the first record. Okay, and this price, currency, max, seat occupied, all these are from SFlight table, right? So we are passing the values from ls underscore SFlight structure. Okay, now if you see this, okay, so if you see this, right, let ls underscore flight date, care ID, con ID, so all these informations are empty because the assignment is not done. Okay, now I'm pressing this F5. See the carrier ID being assigned. Now one more, the connection ID also being assigned. Now one more, the FL date also being assigned. Okay, so now if you see, all the information has been assigned to the output structure. Okay, but we need all the records, right? So the output structure must be added to the internal table. The output internal table is our LT underscore flight underscore DET, right? So before assignment, if you see, it has 0 records but 13 fields. Okay, after addition of the structure to the internal table, you see one record has been added to LT underscore flight underscore date. Okay, now we have to clear this structure so that when the loop runs for the second time, new values can be assigned here. Okay, so now if you see, all the fields are being empty, right? Now see, site tabix value is 2. That means it is now with the second record. Okay, and if you see the char id con id, it has the value AA and 0026. Okay, and if you see this ls underscore s flight is not being cleared, so till now it is having the old values AA and 007. Okay, now we are executing this read table. If the read table is successful, then new values, new record will be assigned to s flight, which will be matching this carrier id and connection id. Okay, that means new record will selected for ls underscore s flight. See, new record has been selected. Now if we execute this again, see, the next record has been assigned to this final output table. Okay, now I have done the append, so this lt underscore flight detail have two records. Okay, so there are around 46 records are there in SPFLI table, right? So I don't want to go 46 times like this. Okay, in that case, here I click, double click, so here I have set up one breakpoint. Okay, now I will execute this F8 button. Okay, continue button. So it will execute the loop 46 times and then it will stop in the next breakpoint. Okay, now I'm clicking this F8. See, the loop execution has been completed and now it reached to this data output section. Okay, so here we can see this, right? So now if you see, the lt underscore flight detail has 46 records. Okay, now I am again pressing F8 because this will write each columns, right? So I'll just press F8. You can see the output. So now everyone understood, right, what code we have written and how the program execution happens. Okay, so now everyone, I hope you have understanding of the logics we have written, right? So in the next session we will find out how to write this program correctly. Okay, so today, for today, let's this is all. So see you all in our next session. Okay, till then, bye, take care.